Thank you everyone for staying with us. Let's touch base now with Abuja, the nation's capital, where President Muhammadu Buhari today met with 21 Chibok schoolgirls freed from their abductors last week. The girls will spend over 2 years in the den of the Boko Haram sect. The president says aside from rescuing the Chibok girls, his administration will assume the responsibility for their personal, educational and professional goals and ambitions in life, insisting that it is not late for the girls to go back to school and continue the pursuit of their studies. The president, who spoke in the presidential villa after receiving the girls from Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, promised that girls that they may have seen worst the world has to offer. It is now time for them to experience the best the world also can offer to them. Everyone, now let's get straight into the heart of the matter that we are focusing on tonight. A court decision asking Mr. Ibrahim, you know him, a Nigerian businessman, to be enlisted as a candidate of the PDP in Ondo State is still generating controversy. 2 parallel primaries held with Mr. Ibrahim emerging in the primary held in Ibadan in Oyo State, while Mr. Yita Jagede in the primary conducted in Akure emerged as a candidate. Yita Jagede, former Commissioner of Justice with Olusegun Mimiko, and Ibrahim said to be loyal to the Senator Sherry's group. Yesterday we had a perspective favorable to Mr. Ibrahim, and of course, like we do on Channel Television, getting all the signs to the matter. Tonight, we get a different perspective altogether, this time from an Yita Jagede point of view. But you know, of course, that the race is not going to be an easy one. It's going to be a fiercely contested race. Take a look at some of those you might be hearing their names and seeing their faces on the ballot, on the posters, and the campaign trail in the state. Olushala Oke, Rotimi Akeredolu, Yita Jagede, Ibrahim. Well, probably for now, those are in contest. Oluwagunloye of the SDP. All of these men, you will probably find them in the end when INEC officially releases the names of those who will be contested in the race. Well, let's get talking on this matter. Wale Odushola, a member of the PDP in Ondo State. We understand that he also works with the governor of Ondo State, Olusegun Mimiko. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you, ma'am.
Not a good time for your party, isn't it?
Oh, well, I don't see much problem. I don't see much problem.
Really?
Yeah.
When your candidate is standing on one leg in this race, because it's still not certain that he will be contesting in this race, because considering the fact that if INEC comes out with a list and his name is not there, based on the court's decision from Justice Okona Banks Court, it seems that all is not well.
Already you all know, that the name is with INEC already, and the name that is with INEC is the name of Jagede, Ita Jagede SEN. And that is the reason why the factional members of PDP went to court to enforce a judgment wherein Justice Abank make a direction that the name of Jimo be published and be made the candidate of a PDP. So all this fact shows that a name is already with INEC. And which of the name is already with INEC? Is the name of Jagede is a known fact. It's not a hidden fact.
But it's also a known fact that that court decision will probably have upstaged the status quo.
Yeah, there's a judgment already. Whether the judgment is valid, whether it is not valid, it is the judgment of court. And it consists of others. But the question now is, what is the state of things now? That judgment has been appealed against. I think you know. And when the judgment was appealed, the PDP filed application for stay of execution and injunction of that judgment. And it has implication in law. Whether the motion or the application is hard or not, the law enjoins all parties to stay off the subject matter.
Staying off will mean then, because what we saw in Edo State, for example, similar occurrence in Edo State, where we had the name of Mr. Osageze Yamo already with INEC, but the case where we found the man loyal to Matthew Idokre, where loyal to Senator Sharif. But stay means that at the end of the day, the name of Mr. Osage Ezeyamu, there was a bracket in front stating that there is a court ruling hanging over it. It then means that maybe the name of your candidate, Eyisayo Jegede, might not emerge in the first place, because if the court had said INEC should replace him with Jimoh Ibrahim, maybe they would have followed that in any case. They
wouldn't do that, because
you seem to be very sure that INEC will, the name of Eyisayo Jegede will be on INEC's
I'm
list.
saying this because I know what the law says. You see, when a judgment is given and the judgment is appealed against, and the person who did that, the judgment creditor, filed an application for stay and injunction, the law says that the status quo must remain.
Some of your members in Ondo State are troubled right now. They are not settled. Some of them are not even sure. Uncertainty is the order of the day in PDP in Ondo State, because they really don't know who the candidate is.
Yes, I wouldn't blame them if they have that kind of notion, because you see, a lot of things is happening in Nigeria. Even though our judicial system has been bastardized, but in a sane society, because we used to say that in the period of Jonathan there was impunity, and that's what this government said it has come to change. Now let us say that this government has come to make the rule of law to stay. There's procedure. That's what I'm saying. People will have the permission, but I will be talking like a lawyer now. The law says that once an application is filed to stay a judgment, the parties must maintain status quo. And if any party goes, if INEC goes ahead to make a replacement while the application is pending, the law says it's an abuse of court process. And I don't know, what interest will INEC be protecting? Why would INEC want to act in abuse of court process?
Well, we wonder that presidents of courts decisions have stated that INEC in this kind of case must be found to be unbiased in this case.
Yes.
That means that one will be speculating if one says this is what will happen. But let's look at the merit of the case. Are you sure that your candidate, Mr. Eyisayo Jegede, can scale through this one? Because this is a judgment that rocks the very root of the leadership that conducted the primaries where Mr. Eyisayo Jegede emerged.
The one you are talking, is it the first judgment delivered by Justice?
Both judgments, because if you look at it, it's talking about, look at that. That's the front page of the enrollment of order on the post-judgment application. This is what came after that is a post-judgment application enrollment. So this, from what we have seen so far, and those who are in copy of this particular suit, it looks so much that it has tainted the leadership which conducted the primaries of where Eyisayo Jegede emerged. That means that Eyisayo Jegede's emergence has been tainted, isn't it?
Yes, the one you are showing on the screen, that's the second judgment. The target post-judgment application. That was the latest one.
Yes. The
one that just the bank gave, directing INEC to replace Jimoh with Jegede. That process itself, the process through which they got that judgment itself is faulty.
How? How do you mean?
In the sense that there was a judgment in the first place. That was the one delivered on 29th June 2016. Now they said INEC did not obey that judgment. The order contains in that judgment. They went back to court to say that they want to enforce the judgment. And if you are enforcing the judgment, there are procedures. And the basic laws that guide enforcement of judgment is the Sheriff and Civil Process Law and the Judgment Enforcement Rules. Now, there's one thing we say, jurisdiction of court. When you talk of jurisdiction of court, that means you have to approach the court in the proper manner provided by law. So they have gone to court. If you look at the Sheriff and Civil Process Act, which guides enforcement of law, of judgment, Section 73 talks about...
I'd just like to pause it for a moment because we need to go on this short break. You will continue from where you have stopped, but when we return from this break, stay with us.